YouTube. Oh, hey, what's up? Yes, my YouTube finally acting right. Okay. So let me put this over here. I'm gonna miss, I don't want to miss the chat though. So hold on, let me put, I don't want to miss the chat. Let me move stuff. I am so sorry, my Facebook people. Okay. All right. It is what it is. Welcome. I know I have not been around. It's been months, the entire summer. And I've had good intentions to come back, but this journey is something else. Put in the chat who has been to the motherland. Put in the chat. And let me move this. I always got my little mop in the way. Okay. Um put in the chat is if anyone is in the motherland now, living, being an expat, or on their way going, anyone that's been there, because I'll break it up. The people that's been there, they can understand like the travel part of it, and it's just a long flight. But we're gonna talk about 10 things. First, I had five, and I said, it ain't no five, it's like 10. And I'm going to also throw in what I've been going through, real talk, um, about doing the journey um, to the motherland to live. So let's start on some positive news. Yay, yay, yay. My daughter and I, we did just receive our resident alien cards in Kenya. So that's basically like the green cards here. And I'll talk to you about that process. That could be a whole um, video by itself, but I'll touch on that process. Willie, what's up, Mr. Walcott? So I can talk about that process, but we are bona fide residents of Kenya. That was a process, honey. A honey. Costly process. So, with everything that is going on here in the US, we want the bleeding to stop. It's like, being in a bad marriage and you just want everything to stop. So you want to go. You just want to disappear. You want to go. But when I have talked in my previous videos that yes, we are emotional, but we do not need to try to exit in an emotional manner because that will come back and bite you. Now, I am probably the queen um, of due diligence because I'm a real estate investor. I used to invest in a whole lot of real estate, so I try to make sure that I dot my I's, I cross my T's, I research, I talk to people, I find out, I have a network, and all of that. And even with that, I'm still caught up in some bullshit. Real talk, honey. I'm telling y'all. I'm going to let y'all know, but I just want to make something clear because people would love the excuse to be like, oh, I'm not going to Africa because she said, nah, no, no, no. On the other side, anything good doesn't come easy. And you just have to trust the process. I have got very close to God through this, honey. Okay. It's been a many of a nights I'm crying. I'm waking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh, I'm stressing out. This is that. And just off the rails. This time last year, matter of fact, when I started this, and yay for us, this is 1 year. I thought about it. That's why I said I have to come on. Today is 1 year. We started we started the talk series, Let's Talk and Travel to Africa on October 1 of last year. Can you believe it's been a year? Just crazy. So we've talked about, dozens of the countries. Did I say that right? I didn't say that right. In the continent, learned about a lot of stuff, but we still have a lot to learn. So, as I said, folks that are planning to move to the continent, I want y'all on this. Put move in the chat. If y'all are serious about moving, put move in the chat because I have some goodies for y'all to share with y'all later, okay, to help your journey. So, um, I am now a resident and I also have a residence there. I acquired a property there back in 2023, right? But I started this journey literally in 2020 during COVID. So to give you all a little bit background, because a lot of people ask me, well, how did you pick Kenya? How did you, end up where you are? Because people usually see the destination. They don't know when you started. They totally ignored, your journey. And then all of a sudden you're here and they're like, oh, wow, well, how did you do that? Like it was yesterday and it wasn't. So when I was on furlough, everybody was home and I was watching TV at that time. But I was starting to get off TV because we used to be a political family and in the news and all that nonsense and drama. But I was getting away from the news, but that was the only thing that was there. So it was so much killing going on, and my son was 17 at the time. And I'm like, I got to get my black son out this country, like for real. But all of the borders were closed. So we couldn't go anywhere. And I still didn't have a job, whatever. So during COVID, I was like watching YouTube and ran across a documentary that was called The New South Africa. So I said, that's right. South Africa changed from, Mandela and the ANC, but they've comfortably kept that quiet. So when I watched the documentary, it was how South Africa did a 180. And it wasn't the apartheid that we saw and all the killing and all of this, but black folks was now running the country and black folks was calling the shots and black folks is living large. And a lot of the early migrants, or I don't want to say migrants, the early folks that left the US to go to South Africa right after Mandela and the ANC, they're chilling. Like their houses are amazing, their businesses are amazing. So I say that to say, if y'all are going to, and this is a bonus tip, I haven't started with my list yet. This is a bonus tip while I'm thinking about it. Be early, don't go with the crowd. And I always say, and people kind of look at me sideways when I say Ghana's is not Africa. South Africa is not Africa. They are two countries out of 54 countries. And at least 45 of the other 54 countries, you can go, you can thrive, you can build, people look like you, and you can do well. South Africa became popular because of Nelson Mandela. And then people, that was an opening. And then Ghana became popular with the return. Yeah, the return. I forgot the name of it, but in 2019. So everyone thinks that I went to a conference about a month and a half ago in VestFest, and they were talking about Ghana like Ghana was Africa. No, it's other places in Africa. Hey, Cheryl, but what I encourage all of y'all that y'all are thinking about going to the motherland, go and be curious about other countries. because I'm going to honestly tell you, South Africa and Ghana is very oversaturated. Very oversaturated. And with that said, prices are sky high. So you're going to be struggling unless you have a wonderful, you saved well, you invested well, and you just chilling and want to be there. You're going to be working and probably back in the United States. That's what you don't want to do. So you need to plan. Number one, plan research, plan research, plan research, plan properly. Have a specific timeline that you're going to get this done. So just to interject like my story in, so I told y'all my initial thing about Africa was during COVID. And it was, all these people were getting killed and whatsoever. And I just couldn't take it no more. It really rattled me. And I had a black son that was 17 and 6'2", the profile, and wouldn't hurt a fly, and a target basically. And that's basically the black mother's biggest fear that no one talks about is being a mother of a black son, right? So I was trying to just get him out of here and us out of here so we wouldn't be subjected to this nonsense, right? So, but time went on, and I was recruited. I was working for. I was waiting to get called back by Lexus, but Range Rover called me. So I went to make money after COVID. So that was 2020. So 2021, my niece, how I got to Kenya, my niece was going to marry this Kenyan guy. She didn't. But I said, I'm still coming, and, we're going to turn up. I need the break because I couldn't stand my job. So I'm still coming to Kenya. And I had researched during that time, I have researched South Africa to see if I can get employment with like Range Rover in South Africa, if they would hire women. And then I said, well, I'm really not getting too much feedback from South Africa. Let me check out West Africa, like Dakar, because at that time, Akon had his A-coin and had all these big plans for his Akon city. So I said, you know what? Let me get real close there, right? So then when I did research on, just started looking at YouTube videos and Americans that moved to Dakar, it just wasn't a fit for me. So then I connected with a friend that actually, when they was telling us to go back to Africa in the last administration, him and his wife actually did. And they toured Africa basically pretty much the whole 4 years. So I called him to ask him, I'm in a dilemma. I don't know which place to pick. And he said, forget South Africa, forget West Africa. And I'm also connected to West Africa because my first husband is from Sierra Leone. So my oldest daughter, she has her Sierra Leone citizenship and passport. So I was like, well, I'm kind of familiar with the folks there whatsoever. So he said, no, forget West Africa, forget South Africa. He said, no one's looking at East Africa. He said, you need to check out Tanzania, Zanzibar, Kenya. And at that time, I was like, what's a Zanzibar? What the hell is that shit? What's a Zanzibar in a Tanzania? I was ignorant AF, honey, right? So he was like, yeah, go, this is that. So after he told me the key, YouTube is your friend. Hey, people on YouTube, Treasures of Aspiration. Hey, give the DM me so we can talk. DM me, Treasures of Aspiration, because I'm on too. I'm on Facebook Live and I'm on my YouTube. Yes. So we can talk, definitely. But this is some good stuff. I'm telling you, this is real stuff. Everything that I'm telling you, I've done, I've experienced. It's no, as the kids say, cap. Ain't no cap. It's not what I heard or what I, nah. This is bullying that I went through. But guess what? At the end of the day, but what we dealing with here in this USA, it's worth it. So I just gotta eat the bitter pill until I swallow it and digest it. That's how bad this place is. That I cannot live my senior years in. Hey Brenda, thank you. I cannot live out my senior years in this place. I just cannot. Right. So I got August of 21. I went to. I had researched Tanzania, like my friend told me to do, Tanzania and Zanzibar. So when my niece was going to get married, I said, well, I'm going to knock out both because Tanzania and Kenya is right next door to each other. Both of them are in East Africa. So just to give y'all some geography, so you have Ethiopia is on top of Kenya, then Kenya is kind of on top next to Tanzania, but all of them on the coast. So if y'all are like beachy coast, want to be at the beach type of folks, yes. I mean, beautiful. Okay. But Zanzibar is very publicized, but it's very touristy. So when you go and you watch the YouTubes, and I will come home from work and watch YouTube on a specific place 2-3 hours, like for the rest of the night. I would just go by the next person, see what they're talking about, and just see how they're moving, see how, what they're talking about. You put in, so let me get back to my thing because I'm jumping around. Okay. So number one, decide on 3 to 5 places that you want to go. If it's that much, I hope it's not that much, but narrow the places that you want to go, right? And then, like I said, plan a specific time frame of how you want to get this done. So I hear some people saying, yeah, well, 2027, 2028 or 7 years. Yo, we don't have that type of time. We don't have it, especially when we knew this was coming. I don't understand that people did not realize that what we're in, that Stevie Wonder saw it. Even Stevie Wonder done moved to Africa. Stevie Wonder saw it. He gone. Okay. Ciao. So anyway, nevertheless, okay. So have a specific time goal. Now I'm going to say some things that people won't like, but you got to do it. Entitled American, you can't have everything. You can't have everything. If you want a good thing, you can't have everything. And I'm saying this because when you plan your exit, right, you got to do some things. You can't just get up and say, okay, I'm going to move. No, This is what you got to do first and foremost. I've told folks this. They ignore me. They're like, but I want to keep my house. For what? For what? Well, my kid. Please. I used to sell cars. That's an objection. When people would come in, they supposedly want to buy a car, and then they have all these excuses. Oh, my dog ate the paper or whatever. That's an objection. You're gonna do it or not. You're gonna poop or get off the pot. And you have to make sacrifices to make this happen. This shit don't happen just because you wanted to or overnight. It don't. And you got to make the sacrifice. I remember a pastor used to say a long time ago, You pay now, you play later, you play now, you pay later. Very true, right? So you plan a specific time, 1 to 2 years. Okay. 1 to 2 years. You start selling everything. You have to sell everything. But I say, you got to sell everything. Sell everything. Everything that's in your store. I don't understand why people have storage units, because that is just money in the trash every month. You're not touching that stuff. You put it in a storage unit. You're not using it. And you paying them people at the storage unit all that money. Sell every single thing except your baby's christening outfit. You have to sell your house. I went without a car for 2 years. I just got a car like last year, and I had to because of the little side hustles that I was doing. I needed a vehicle, but I didn't want to be bothered because insurance is crazy. Car notes are crazy. Gas is crazy. That's like $1,000 every month. And I used to look at my car and say, and I was working at home, so that made it even worse. So I'm looking at this car and that I just got before I went to Africa. And I said, okay, I just want to like have a lease, a new car. Hey, Trees, have a new car. So when I come back, I'm not worried about fixing up a car. So I had leased my car, and I would see it because I didn't realize I was getting a job with American Express, and I would be at home, and I'm looking at the car and I'm like, that's $1,000 a month. And it's just sitting there. That's $12,000 a year. Do you know how much travel I could do with $12,000 a year? Or even $6,000 a year? So I was just on the travel tip then, right? So then here comes, let's fast forward. So I went in August and I visited for my niece's wedding, right? So I visited Kenya and I visited Zanzibar, and I was going to go back to visit Dar es Salaam because I was studying Dar es Salaam and the people, and I had connected with some people on YouTube and how you connect. So, okay, so you decide 3 paces, downsize, sell. You don't need that Chanel bag in Africa. You don't need that Louis Vuitton tote in Africa. You really don't. You really don't. I would rather have a cook and a driver than looking at a Chanel bag. Just saying. So then, okay, so YouTube is your best friend, right? So, and then you look at videos that's titled Americans Moving to wherever, Rwanda or whatever. So, and it's tons of information there. Hey, Sienna, welcome. Yeah, it's tons of information, and you will get what I love about YouTube. You get raw, real information from real people. It's not sponsored, it's not bought. You're just getting the raw information. So I love that, right? So, and I'm going to be bouncing back and forth, like my experience, but then the 10 things, right? So when I went to Africa for the first time in August 2021, right? And I was there 2 weeks, and I spent like 1 week in Kenya. Then I went over to Tanzania and spent time in Zanzibar for like 3 or 4 days, and then came back. So I had already planned to go back in November and then go back in January because I had surgery. So I knew I would be off, and this would be the perfect time for me. If I needed to travel, I would travel. Okay. So I went back in November, but I didn't go to Dar es Salaam, and I'm going to tell you why. Got me a little Twix, killed it, honey, and my little cougar phase. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But anyway, we're going to get to that on number 9. Don't get igmatized when you go over there or kitty caught. Don't do that. We're going to get to that later. But anyway, so I said, well, instead of going to Tanzania where I know of people, hey, Stephanie, how are you? You are hanging out. You are across the water. But thank you for popping in. So, yeah, so I said, instead of me knowing of people that I met, through YouTube, and then I would reach out to them on like Instagram, and they were nice. And some of them gave information, or some of them, said they wanted to connect. And I did connect with like two people. But this is what you may run into that just be careful of. And sometimes it's not the folks' fault, but it's sometimes when they start to get big, have a lot of subs and followers on Facebook, people will just continue to get information from them and information from them and information from them. And YouTube is a platform where people, make income. So you will run into, and don't get insulted. You just will be like, oh, okay, I just, wanted to get pointed in a direction, or I wanted to, connect with you because I may come. What do you suggest? But if you go and ask a lot of questions, some people have been charging consultation fees, like 50 to 100, $150, depending on who they are, for you to talk to them. So that's why I just sit and I watch different people and get information. And, you definitely have to connect. Lynette, thank you so much. You definitely have to connect and have a network. That's really big. You have to have a network. You cannot go anywhere. If you like go to Ghana in dead of December, don't do that, because that's not how your life will be in Ghana. Now, sometimes every weekend, maybe, but you need to experience how it is when nothing's going on to see if that's a fit for you. So don't, like I was saying a couple of minutes ago, be the first. It's scary, yes, but be the first. Don't follow the crowd, because if you follow the crowd, you're going to pay the price. So from what I went to a expo a couple weeks ago. It was Invest Fest, and they're asking $450 for a house in Ghana, 180,000 for a 2 bedroom. What? We ain't in the United States. We're United States money coming through. Unless you are established, you have your business, and you making 200 grand USD to afford that. So what you have to also establish in the very early stages, is what is your income going to be? And do not depend on, oh, well, what type of jobs they got. No, because I know in Kenya, bankers, VPs of banks make 12 grand a year, 12,000 USD. VPs of banks, the money is not the same. So your goal is to have the American dream in another country. So get your money up. Like I said, the Louis tote ain't worth it. Sell that. Sell that. The Chanel bags, it's not worth it. The shoes aren't worth it. It really isn't. It's just sitting in your closet. When you could have a home near the beach with a full staff, and all you got to worry about is you, not working to have stuff. Nah. It's the mindset. The mindset. You got to get out of that. If you want, hey, Key, Cherie, you got to get out of that. That's going to be your freedom. So we're looking as Black people in the United States for freedom, but we got to free ourselves like for real. That's the first step. We got to free ourselves right up here. So empty out your if anyone has a storage unit, that's just money being poured down the drain. That's wasted money. Do a sale, make your money from there. With that money, you can buy a ticket to go to the motherland, and you're not putting stuff on your credit card, and the cycle goes on and on and on. You have to downsize. You have to downsize, right? So then, okay, next thing. So reach out to the folks that you see on the videos, right? And establish a relationship, establish a network. Join, just like we have Africa Awaits, and I love my group because it's almost self-contained. I don't get on impulse. I may share some stuff, but the folks on in Africa Awaits, they jump on and they go and post and share information, and I love it. So we need to share all the information we can, get on all the Facebook groups you can, and then you will see quickly which Facebook groups or which WhatsApp groups are beneficial to you. And you will see, how people move. And what I do suggest, watch how people move. And I don't even care if it's folks from the US. Because what I've run into, unfortunately, folks from the US that claim they want to help you is scamming you. We're worried about the Africans scamming us. Nah, it be us. They consultants, or you think that they operate in a certain capacity, like an immigration attorney or something like that. That's how they come off. So they tell you, oh yeah, I can get you a house, I can get you fine. Oh, this project and all this and all that. Child, they don't own shit. They don't own shit but your money. I'm telling y'all. Now, thank God I have not been victim to the land scam and stuff. But that's going like just crazy in Ghana, because we go and we are excited and we want this pain to stop. So we're like, oh, we're in the motherland. And when we get there, everyone's just so, welcome, sister, welcome home. Oh, this. And we go through all the ritual and we're in heaven, honey. It's just like running into and finding a new boo, honey. That's how this process is. Just like you run into this fine boo, and he's so fine and he's so perfect. And what Sexy Red said, yeah, a week he my man, or whatever the case is. That's how this process is. So you go through, the meeting phase, and it's just wonderful. You go over there, it's life-changing. Then when you go back, you've met some friends and you're like, yeah, I'm out of here. This is that, blah, 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 blah. Then when you get a chance to stay there for a while. So if you're serious, the next thing is that you need to plan at least 3 to 4 trips to the place that you are deciding to move. One visit won't do it. One visit will not do it. It's just like meeting a guy and going on a date with him and then getting married to him the next month. Nah. You have to visit, because remember, we're going to another, not even city, country. We're going to a whole nother continent. We're going to a whole nother culture. And in the in the continent, all 54 countries are totally different cultures. And within those countries, there's different cultures, totally different cultures. So you are putting yourself into a whole nother just isolated. You don't know. So you have to understand how that culture rolls. And you have to understand and respect, do as the Romans do. You got to do as the Romans do. Okay. So if you go to like you want to choose like English speaking countries, right? So that is one plus. But if you want to go to Cote d'Ivoire or Burkina Faso, you have to know French. They don't care. You got to know French. So, it's different little facets or whatever, but you see that when you are constantly each and every day that I recommend you watch your YouTube when you focus in on a country, YouTube 2-3 hours a day and pick up um different things from that country, right? So then you're going to plan at least 3 trips to that country. So the first trip can be 2 weeks. Okay. You go, you get your PTO. If people are working or whatever, get your PTO saved up. You go 2 weeks. So you can make the best of it for those 2 weeks. And it's basically called a scouting trip, not a vacation. You can you can tell, okay, it's vacation, but a scouting trip is different than a vacation. So a scouting trip is, okay, you're going to go and you're going to be a tourist, right? You're going to see the different tourist spots, but you're also going to connect with realtors, with the U.S. Embassy. And I hope everyone has signed up if you do plan to travel with the embassy. It's like the safety program or whatever. So when you're traveling different countries, it doesn't matter that it's Africa or not, that you are registered in the U.S. Embassy system, that they know where you are. So I forgot the name of it. Someone put it in the chat if y'all remember the name of and it's free. It's free to do, and it lets the U.S. Embassy know that you are in another country just if something goes down. So that's just a side note, right? So um yeah, so you it's a scouting trip. So you get people lined up and you do this before you go on a trip because you only have two weeks. And if you're going to the continent, you might as well knock off 4 days, 2 on each side, because they're about 6 to 8 hours, 9 hours ahead of us. So you lose 2 days going. Now, when you come back, you get the days back, but still it's not as long as you think. And then you may get jet lag or whatever, depending if this is your first time here, but you got to hit the ground running when you get there. So you do all your pre-planning before, your connections before, and make sure you vet the people that you're dealing with. You vet if someone, and where I have got the best resources from is Facebook groups. Because think about it, with Facebook groups, people in Facebook groups, you can see their profile, you can see, you can do a little research on them, you can, take their name, go to LinkedIn and see, you can do a whole ton of research. Do research on people. Do research on people that you are connecting with, that you are planning to vet to do business with. Because the unfortunate thing is, when you go over to the continent, it don't matter. We Black, we will be welcomed, but we still are a USD dollar bill in everybody's eyes. And you got to tell them all the time, listen, Black is global, honey. We got the same struggle. You just live in Africa. I live in America and I got 4, 5, 6 jobs. And they're like, what? I thought every American was rich. Y'all make good money. You, you don't know how much money we spend, what the cost of living is. So what they're shown on Western media, lies, 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 that America is just milk and honey. And soon as you step here, you just have all this opportunity and da 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 da. They didn't get the memo of being Black in America and what that comes with. So you got to kind of fight through that too, right? So, and don't go over to the continent trying to flex wearing your Gucci and your DOL, your Target, and not for like to get robbed, but you don't need to do that. Luxury and wealth is quiet. It's quiet. It ain't loud. It's quiet. It's quiet. Go do what you gotta do. You don't have to have it all on your back and whatever, because they're thinking already from what they hear on the news of what we are. And then we have been brainwashed to think, oh, in Africa, they so poor and they got flies around their head. It's the same thing what the Western media does, right? All right, let me get through this now. What time is it? Darn, it's 8:45. All right. So plan a trip, and put I'm going in the chat, and I have a special link for when y'all want to book your trips. The best website to find fares. So put I'm going in the chat, and I will send you that link for for um the best price, the best deals, and how to look for deals on flights, because people get nervous. Oh my God, it's $2,000-3,000 to go to. No, it's not. You can go to the motherland round trip as low as $800. Every time I've gone to Kenya, except for one time because I treated myself to Qatar in a Q suite, but every single time I've gone, and how many times have I been? About 7. I haven't paid any more than $930 round trip. No, I lie. I lie. This last time I went a few weeks ago, I ended up paying $1,100 for my ticket, only because I had paid $835 for my daughter's ticket at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Then when I tried to book my ticket, it just wouldn't go. So I think my bank had it on lock because I was doing these transactions. So I said, okay, I'll just call my bank first thing in the morning to find out what's going on. It should be the same price. I called my bank at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, went to book that thing, and went up $300. So go on like Google Flights, get your notifications, and then put in the chat, and I'll send you a special website where you can navigate your travel. Okay, getting cheap. Okay, so let me see, and travel when fares are cheap. If you're going for, to look and live, do not go when it is high season. Do not go when it's dead of December. That's just party time. That's just the extra. Do not go. That's not the real life that you're going to do every day. Don't do that. Okay. So go and research to see when the prices go low, and the tool that I'm going to share with you will give you a whole calendar and tell you when the flights go down, and you can plan your trip like that. Okay. And I know from what I'm hearing that there are apps or websites that you can like pay, like lay away your trips. And then also, um, I want y'all to put in the chat. I want y'all to, whoever puts I'm going in the chat, I'm going to send you a lot of stuff. Okay. Basically. So you can also, like with your credit cards, you can build points and have some money shaved off your airline travel, and basically almost go for free just with your everyday purchases. And I will share that with you for anyone that is serious about doing this journey. Okay. Let me see. So start to establish. So when you get there in the 2 weeks, you can meet with your realtor. You can still go and visit and be a tourist and enjoy the different things. But then you can go and talk to realtors, have them show you around, talk to business owners, go to like Chamber of Commerce, go to the embassy, but have all of that planned out day by day by day. I was in Kenya 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I was only there for a week because we had to get our biometrics done and my daughter had to get back to work. So usually I stay like 3 weeks or more, right? But we were only there a week. I plan, okay, what I'm going to be doing at 9 o'clock on Monday, what I'm going to be doing on Tuesday, who I'm going to see on Tuesday. So I was like, okay, we're going to immigration on Monday. Then we're going to the banks on Tuesday. Then I'm going to interview, attorneys on Wednesday. Then we had to fly to the coast over to the house. I was there on Thursday, and then I had to go and my bags on Friday, and Saturday we were back. So you have to pre-plan everything to make sure that your trip is effective, because you can't, it's not like going from Georgia to Western, you can just go. So you want to get every single thing in and make sure that the people that you are connecting with are reliable and vetted well, because everybody gonna smile on your face. Everybody gonna smile on your face. But are they loyal for the long run? I had to fire my caretaker, and I would talk to him every day. He would supposedly send me videos, the whole nine. Child, I get to my house looking crazy. I'm like, you here every day, 7 days a week, and have no problems calling me on Sunday when your pay is late. But my house dirty. Are you kidding me? And I'm in contact with him every day. So you gotta stay on top of that. Real talk shit. Real talk shit. That's why it's really, you have to also, after you get, and this is down the line, after you found something, establish it, you want to maintain it, you have to have people on the ground that got your back. So he was bullshitting, thinking he was getting over, but I have an American neighbor actually, and he would tell me about different things that wasn't copy. And then I have a girlfriend, she's Kenyan. So my neighbor's American, he's from Mississippi, and my girlfriend, she's Kenyan. So you need to have relationships with everybody, not just Americans, not just Kenyans, because, and I think it's very important for you to make sure, hi, Miss Guadalupe, that you have to make sure that when you do see other Americans or expats, that you connect. Please don't be that black person that don't speak when you see another black person. That really makes me mad. That's just side stuff. That irritates me so bad. I'm like, I know you see me. Yeah, I can't get a nod. Like you're gonna, oh, I hate that. But anyway, because y'all will need each other. Because when you're in another country, in another continent, and another culture that you don't know, don't think you an island because you got with a couple of kids or whatever, or you there and you think nah. We need each other. We need to be a community. So if you see another Black American, connect with them. They need you, you need them. Okay? Because y'all understand the struggle. People that's in Africa, they really don't, because I've talked to a lot of them, they don't understand what we've been through to this point. They don't know about the slave trade and the Jim Crow and all of that. They don't know the African American walk. They've only seen what the Western media has shown them. And that's saying that we're rich and we're rappers. You will see Tupac's picture all over buses, Biggie's picture all over buses. It's called Matukus or whatever. Chris Brown. That's what they show as Black Americans. So they think, oh, we're rappers and we're rich. When we're not. We're just trying to make it just like them. Okay. So let me see the next thing. Get, like I said, you for your 2 weeks, set up, because that's not just a vacation. You can mix your vacation in, but make sure you have researched and found your realtors, your attorneys, everything, and the people that you're watching on YouTube in that specific place. Ask them, like, what realtor did you use? Just want to ask. I'm coming over. Let's connect. I really don't know. This is because they've walked the same walk you're walking. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a little ask, a lot of times they don't mind, especially if they respond back. And if they don't respond, that means they don't want to be bothered. But you can find so much information between looking at other YouTube channels, connecting with other YouTube people, and the Facebook groups. If you want to move to Mozambique, I know if you put in expats in Mozambique, it's going to pop up. And if it doesn't, you make one, and because I know it's going to be people to come. Since COVID was very good to people, very bad to people, but it's opened up the world for choices, and I think it was the perfect time, especially in the times we're in. So now we are deciding what we're going to do. Okay. And even white folks, it's like, we try to get out of here too, because it's bananas. It's just bananas. So no one is feeling this place at all. So anyway, all right, next thing. So yeah, plan at least 3 to 4 trips. So the first trip is 2 weeks. Then the next trip should be 3 weeks to a month. Then the third trip should be your entire visa. So usually the visas are about, the traveling or visitor visas are about 90 days. So I know when I traveled to the continent, I went in August 2021 for 2 weeks. Then I went in November 2021 for 2 weeks. Then I went right back in January for 3 months, and I lived there. And that will be the litmus test if that place is for you. Because all the places sound great, and your girlfriend, hey Regina, and your girlfriend went and she had a good time. So, I'm moving to Ghana, I'm buying some land and that do not do. Don't buy land anywhere. Don't buy, look at my mouth. I don't care what nobody say. Don't buy land anywhere because of several reasons. They will tell you, and especially the locals, if the locals come and say, don't, those houses too expensive. I know someone that you can get, buy like 2 acres, or you can buy land from for and they're going to get the chief and the Maasai and the this and the that and the high chief to sign off, and nah. You will find out, because it's a game. They know that We go, we get excited. Oh yeah, okay. You show us land. We go and buy it. There ain't nobody there at that moment. We go home. We don't come back for 2 years. They done sold that thing over 20 times. And then to when you go to start to build on that land you thought you owned, then it's encumbrances on it. It's owned by a dead person that they never changed out the thing. And their relatives is selling the land and don't have right to sell the land. So you can't build. You can't get permits. That is not, and I don't care. Like some attorneys will know because they ask certain questions and they have to provide certain things, but do not try to buy land because another thing is many of the countries you can't buy land as a foreigner. The land is protected because of the Europeans that colonized the area. So if it was just open for people, hey, hi, Miss Regina again. This is Regina Adam and Regina Perry on there. Hey, y'all. Um, yeah, if it was just land was just open to buy, Africa would be all white. Trust. They're trying to do it now on the low key, on the coast, where really, they kind of, yeah. And then the Archipelago Islands, all white, all European. You're like, I thought this was Africa. It is. You wouldn't think so, because they have control over it. The French came in. That's why Mali and Togo and Burkina Faso, my future baby daddy, Captain Traore, he like, absolutely not. Get out. Get out, and we got our own money. How about that? And we have no debt. We don't need none from you. Y'all come, take our stuff, then sell it back to us. How that work? That was our gold. That was our oil. That was our silver. And y'all steal it. Go and make y'all beautiful Eiffel Towers and all the beautiful architect that you see in Europe. Where do you think that money came from to do it and the work? Not them. They not doing it. They not working from Africa. And then they turn around and want to sell our stuff back to us. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go down. That's another story for another day. Okay. So the land, stay away from, please. Y'all, especially if you've really never been there, you've been there once. That land is tricky and you will get burned. And I just learned something because, like I mentioned, I have a home there in the northern coast of Kenya, right? So I, work with an attorney and all of that, but there's little idiosyncrasies that you don't know that doesn't happen in the United States, right? So there's a neighborhood chat. So in my, I guess you would call a subdivision, it's like 10 houses and a little, hey, Courtney. And it's a road that goes down to the beach, right? And it's like 10 of us, 10 houses. And then it was like a condo complex, but it caught fire, but they've rebuilt this nice. So it's walking down to the beach. So I see in the chat now, when I went into contract on my house, I had a title search done and supposedly it was clear. Has anyone put in the chat if anyone has heard of a mother deed? Has anyone ever heard of a mother deed or a mother title? Put in the chat if y'all have heard of a mother deed or a mother title. Okay. So we have a neighborhood chat. So they're talking about like, Yeah, surveying the land and splitting up everyone's thing. And it's like, wait a minute. It's different people that live in different houses. Most of the people, I'm trying to get a mortgage, right? That's another process, okay? That whew, okay. Another thing, they will smile in your face and know they can't do nothing for you, and you get caught up. That's what happened to me in my mortgage process. So I'm on the third bank that promised that they will give me a mortgage this time last year. Y'all saw me, some of y'all saw me for like 12 hours till people ate me up. Um, that a bank dropped the ball, and I was like, oh my God, maybe I need you to do a GoFundMe. Folks ate my ass up so bad. I said, you know what? Let me knock this GoFundMe out. I'm not messing up my reputation. People thinking I'm a scam or whatever. They ate my ass up. I took that thing down so freaking quick. But they will tell you, yes, yes, we can do, yes, 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 we can give you a mortgage. Then when you get in the middle of the shit, all of a sudden you don't hear from them. Passive aggressive, very passive aggressive. So doing business is different. That's why I said y'all have to live there. Y'all can't just be there on vacation, because the vacation is the straight up meeting a new dude on a honeymoon and y'all are just in love. You got to live there and deal with the day to day every day, right? So I see the people talking about the survey coming, and we're like, what? And so my neighbor, my American neighbor, is like, what type of bullshit? I thought, I bought my house cash, and this is this and this is that. So come to find out, I had met with some attorneys when I was there, and they was talking about the mother deed. I never heard of a mother deed. Okay. So basically, the mother deed is back in the day, because remember, these countries were not, like the US, and had all of this, structured stuff. So back maybe 100 years ago, 80 years ago, 70 years ago, whatever, people had plots of land, like big plots, like hundreds of acres. And that acreage was under one deed. And if you were not a Kenyan, I'm talking for Kenya at the moment, you were allowed to have that land under a leasehold. Now, some people probably have heard of freehold and leasehold. That's a lot in the Caribbean whatsoever. So with the if you are a foreigner, you can rent that land. You cannot own it unless you are Kenyan. That's why you see so many, especially in Kenya, and it's probably in other countries too. You see Europeans walking around with black wives or black husbands, or African husbands or whatsoever, African wives, young African wives, so they can get access to owning land. You in Kenya, and I'm talking about Kenya specifically, and I know that in other places it's pretty much the same, because they wanted to keep the Europeans from taking their land. So you have to be a Kenyan citizen to own land, or it will be on a leasehold, and it's up to 99 years that you can rent that land. So if that land is 99, you have it for 99 years, like you would have to, if you did anything with it, you would have to subdivide it. And what they did in my case, they subdivided it, but it was all like, it was a lot of Italians and a lot of, MAFIA stuff going on during the 60s when they were acquiring that land. It was That land was for like family, or family, and they didn't expect it to go to other people. So Now, when other people are buying the individual parcels of land, it's sitting on a mother on one, 10 houses are on one deed. So if 10 houses with 10 different people that aren't related, could you imagine land? That's why I said, from what I have seen and experienced, and I know a young lady, she's out of Chicago. She got burned with land. She she was supposed to buy, I forgot how many acres, maybe 10, and I think she was supposed to pay 20,000. She gave the lady 5,000. She went to see the land. It was supposedly a school or whatever on it. The lady ignoring her, the lady done sold the property literally 7 times over. So I'm telling y'all that land back up and some developments. Now I'm trying to get a mortgage, and it's a process and it's difficult, and y'all pray for me, okay? Um, but you can get a mortgage, but easier, but it would be through like a development. So if you see a development building a high rise, they will offer you a mortgage because they're in partnership with the bank, but they are using the people that's coming in and your deposits that is funding the project. So that is why the bank will give you a mortgage, because it's all tied in for that project to finish. So you just got to be careful with that. And there has been a couple of like American folks that claim that they have these big projects done, and nothing's going off the the board with it. So also be careful. But again, you have to research, you have to ask, you have to vet people well, and you have to have people on the ground that will let you know what's going on, like people that may already live there. So it's very, very important to make sure that that you stay connected with people that have your back, that know. And it's a mix. It's not all American that you need to be hanging out with, and it's not all locals that you need to hang with, or Kenyan people that you need to, or whatever people that you need to hang with. But what you also, and it's no shade, Lydia, is no shade, but certain people will cling to you, and they will be nice, they want to do everything for you, but they just want the money. Make sure that birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. So find someone, friends that are business owners, that are professionals in their craft, not folks that are only able to work for you, because they're just looking at, not they, I don't want to generalize it, so don't jump on me, but they think you're rich. They think you're rich because their average pay, I'm talking about Kenya, is 350 a day for an 8-hour day. Okay, so that's like what, 45 cents an hour? So, we complain about $15 an hour. They get paid $15 a week. So what you also, so I've learned that, and I was friends with an Italian guy, and he had an Airbnb, and he said that his Italian friend said, "Oh, you can't be friends with your workers or whatever." He was like, "Why? We're cool and this is that." I don't know, you may end up getting burned. That's just side note. Just side note. Okay. Let me see. Number I'm at, what was 4, 3, 5. Okay. It's still 5. Continue to establish a strong network, like I said, no one is an island. Make sure you have a combo of of people that you know. And let me see. Number 6, very important. Very, very important. Understand the visas, resident citizenship laws, processes, and cost and procedures. Very important. And but each country is different. Like there's some African countries that's given free citizenship. Like I heard Burkina Faso just gave like 600 citizenships, and they said they was going to give free citizenship. But you have to understand the procedures of each country. Now, my daughter and I just got our residency. And I'm going to just break down. I told you it was a story time. It's long overdue. I want to tell y'all so y'all know what ammunition and where your head needs to be. That's why I said, y'all got to sell everything. Get rid of all of that unnecessary stuff. But in the end, it's going to be worth it, right? So I was blessed to get connected to someone that actually is in immigration, like a supervisor whatsoever. So I was connected there. Do not, because one guy, an American guy, almost got me for like 10 grand. He said, "Oh, I can get you your resident card in like 3 months and da 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 da. It's $9,400." And me, I'm panicking. I need, okay. Child, he had me going to Klarna to try to get a loan for $9,400 to give to him. That to this day, and this was a year ago, he probably still wouldn't have got me my residency. So you got to be careful on both sides. I am so glad my credit wasn't jack that I could not get a $10,000 loan to give that man. Okay. So, but you have to understand the laws. So in the different countries, they have different visas. So they may have an investment visa. Okay. So an investment visa is, usually about $100,000 they want you to have sitting in your bank. I don't have that. I got the retirement visa. Now the retirement visa, it depends on each country. I'm speaking on behalf of Kenya. All you got to do is have $2,000 a month coming into your bank account. $24,000 a year. That's what you got to make. They don't expect you to go and work, but you coming from the U.S., you probably won't, or you have a business. That really is none of their business because more than likely you may have the business tied to the U.S. But all you need is called a Visa K. And you can get it. I did a video on it a couple years ago. 35 years old, and you bring in $2,000 a month, and it could show. And DM me if y'all are interested in starting, because that is also an early thing that you need to do that you won't run into roadblocks, is to get your immigration status straight, because that's going to throw you into roadblocks for getting a bank account, because now it's like so much going on. So I sat and talked to someone from the bank, and he was saying that, before you can open a bank account with a tax pin. So in Kenya, they have a KRA pin. So that's like your tax ID and your passport. But he said now with so much people fraud and moving all over the place, they have to now make sure they can track that person. So you have to have basically a green card to or resident alien card to open a bank account now. Before, like when I first opened a bank account, you didn't have to with certain banks. Now you have to have a resident card. So that process, not cheap. Okay. Um, if you want 1 year for for Visa K or the resident card, it's like $2,000 for 1 year. For 3 years, it's $6,000. It's like 5,400, 5,600. I ain't had that type of money. So I got the 1 year and I said, okay, I'll do what I need to do and I'll worry about that next year. And you have to renew it for a certain length of time. Now, if you're really not planning on going in and establishing and doing business, and you are still, and what I would strongly advise, if you don't need to until you really get in the nitty gritty, keep your US bank accounts. I made the mistake to open uh, a bank account, a couple of bank accounts in Kenya. They didn't do anything for me at all. That was a waste. And I could have been getting my interest on my money in, my accounts, my Fidelity or my bank accounts. So do not rush to take your money out and put it in a can. Don't do that until you are okay. I found a business, I found a house, and you have to have a Kenyan bank if you're going to take out a loan, and they're not big on loans, so you may not even need to even open an account. You can still go to the ATM and get your money out through the US bank. So, don't even worry about that. And I made a big mistake by I opened really three bank accounts. I'm on the third one now because they said in order for me to get a mortgage, I had to have a relationship. That's the only reason why I opened the bank accounts. And the two first bank accounts, child, who just came on? Navit, Kimberly. Yeah, the first two bank accounts, they were a waste, and they screwed me bad. I could have kept my money in my American account. So, make sure, and y'all can definitely connect with me, ask any questions, but you have to establish residency in that country, and you have to also understand the laws of getting a visa. So you just start off getting a visitor visa. That's good for 90 days. Then after you go there a couple of times, they will allow you to get a visa for 5 years. I forgot how much that is, maybe $500 or something, and you can work it like that. So it's just different ways, but that is very important. The residency, understanding the laws, the cost, and then what I had just mentioned to you about the cost, that's just government fees. Child, that's why y'all ain't seen me. Because I be trying to work. That was just government fees, honey. That is not the fees for like the service fee to get it done. So my daughter got a student visa, and I forgot how much that came to, maybe 500 or whatever. I don't know, maybe more. I don't know. But mine was $2,000. But then the service fee to get it done and expedited was like $1,500. So this is the deal. Them African countries said, "Oh, y'all coming over here? We not taking no ratchets. Y'all gotta pay the cost to be the boss, honey. Y'all got to pay the cost to be the boss. They not taking no ratchets. They not taking the them folks that's partying over at Daddy December. You want to come over and live here? So they weeding out a lot of folks, and that darn Ruto, he tripled. I missed that by a year. He tripled. He went around and said, "Oh, we're not requiring visas for, the diaspora." But then you tripled the citizen fees. He tripled the citizen fees. So it was originally to get a 3-year resident visa was like 2,500. Now it's damn near $6,000. They taking advantage. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's move on to the next thing. All right. So, and again, I always say, do not use a friend of a friend that say they nah. You have to fact check. You have to vet. To establish business, buying homes. We talked about that. Told you about the PIN ID. Okay, you have to have those two things to do business in the country, right? Let me see. Number 8. You must. Let me see what it say. Yeah, you have to have someone trustworthy on the ground so they will let you know what's going on. Like my neighbor was a godsend, because stuff that was going on in the neighborhood, stuff that was going on at my house, and I didn't know. He was like, "Yo, I want to get into your business, but this is what's going on." You gotta have that, especially if you have, someone there. I'm sorry, you can't trust your staff, because they're gonna take advantage. They're gonna take advantage. Um, and I just got cameras, and I was so reluctant to get cameras because I'm like, what I'm gonna do? I'm looking on my damn phone and I see somebody all in my shit. I'm 6,000 miles away. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? But stress out. So I don't want to know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody go and take care of it, right? So anyway, all right. So everybody will smile, but the end goal is to get their USD. Okay. Number 9, almost done. Okay. I know this went on, but this has been a long time coming. And I appreciate y'all coming in and listening to the story time, because this is going to help somebody. This is real shit. This is not shit that I heard. This shit I knew. And what I'm going through now. Okay. Do not get digmatized. Yeah, I said it. Or kitty caught. Don't do it. It's a game. It's survival. They gotta get theirs. It's survival. You can't hate the player, hate the game. Okay? Yeah, the love bombing, all of that. This is that, honey. They gonna be patient because they waited this long. They see this fine American chick spending money, throwing that card. Honey, yes, they're in love with you. Please. What? Or the girls. My neighbor said it be young girls knocking at his gate. Sir, Mr. or whatever. I don't know what they called. I know they called me madam. Whatever. Sir, hi, hi. Would you like me? Sir, hi. He said he can't keep them away. They be at his gate, lined up. Okay. Do not get caught in that. Don't get caught in that. Have your fun and keep it moving. That's it. Only a moment in time. And y'all can look at my video that says, "Do not get dies while you in Africa." Okay. Let me see. And it's just, it's just they just trying to survive. They're just trying to survive. But you need to let them know right from the beginning, hey, being Black is global. I tell folk all the time, I'm struggling just like you. Matter of fact, you got one job. I got 5. I got 5 jobs. You got one job. You can go in the back and get a chicken and have dinner. You can go and get a goat and eat for a week. Your chicken to lay eggs. You go to the walk down to the beach and get a lobster. We can't do that. So you gotta that. And number 10, research, repeat. Research, ask. So anyway, I hope that I have given y'all some. Hey Al, coming on at the end. Bruh, didn't you know it was 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock, you should have written it down. So I have no sympathy for you at all. But you can watch it on the replay. But I want to thank all of y'all for coming on, and anyone that has any questions, thank you, YouTube. My people on YouTube, and put in the chat if you are looking for guidance to make that move because it's not getting any better. Stop procrastinating. What else? Just you have to do it, but you have to do it with a plan. And the plan can be the best sort out plan like I did. Like I've been, planning this basically since 2020, but I got serious in 2023 after those babies in Texas got killed. And I said, no, I just can't travel. I gotta get a place for my family. So I went and got a second job, and I forgot to add that. Not only y'all sell everything, you'll get a second job or a second 2 or 3 jobs, and just put that money aside. It'll take you no more than like 6 months, 6 months a year to do what y'all need to do. If y'all stick to the plan for 1 year, y'all got it. And y'all can be out of there come, holiday time of next year. But if y'all don't want to let go of your house, but yet you're paying $6,000 in property taxes, or you don't, oh, I'm holding my house for my kid. Your kids will be all right. Oh well, where am I going to stay when I come back? With your kids, they good. Stop making excuses, like for real, for real. And it doesn't make a difference where y'all want to go. It's basically you still have to go through that process, but it's worth it in the end. It really is. But people that know me, no, I don't sugarcoat nothing. It's as I call it as it is, and it is what it is. I'm still here, even though I don't look like what I've been through or what I'm going through. By the grace of God, God is really good, put me through the process, but I want y'all to come along. I really want y'all to come along. And oh, okay. All right, if you've been here. I just saw you pop up. I was gonna get on you. But to get out of this matrix. Because in 10 years, 20 years, this gonna be third world country for real. Because I'm just gonna end on this note. Y'all just ponder it. With all the AI, well, let's start with the education system, right? The education system public education has been trash. Private education, not too much better, right? Then now with AI, nobody has to even think. People will be asking themselves, what's my name? So it's already been established that Black women are the most educated sector in the world and growing the fastest businesses in the world. And the white man is the least educated. So in this country where MAGA wants to be MAGA, it's going to be, white led. That's what they're trying to do. So if it's white led and everything is AI, and you don't have any creative critical thinking skills. You don't have anyone as far as like a human that can process properly. Where is this country going to be, like, for real, in 10, 20 years? When you have the opportunity now to step foot in one of at least 45 countries, because the other like seven I wouldn't do. And we're going to get back into talking about all the countries. Put in the chat what country you want me to talk about, and I will. Um, but you want to be the first because you want to get in early, and so you can get the most benefit. If you come after the fact, you're going to pay. And if you're going into places like I said, South Africa, Ghana, those places are very expensive now. And even Kenya is getting very expensive. Just in the last, I went in, first time I went was 21. And in 22, my niece had a 2-bedroom apartment in a brand new high rise for 422 a month. It's probably now 700. My house I bought for 145 and 23. Now it's worth 209. So, sitting and, going back and forth of, oh, well, I'm probably gonna do it, and time keeps going and stuff is not getting cheaper. So definitely look at great places. Rwanda, I heard, is fire, but Botswana is fire. um it's 45 other countries that you can live and grow. So I just want to share that. Gives a thumbs up for me if you thought that this information was useful to you. Things that put in the chat, things that you didn't know, that I shared with you. But this is all raw, uncut, real time stuff. Definitely not to encourage you, not to discourage you, rather, not to discourage you, but to just, I don't want folks to get hurt or get burned or be discouraged because they ran into a bump. So, these are things that when you're prepared and expected that this may happen, then you're prepared. But anyway, I want to thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for taking a whole hour and a half and hanging out with me. I know I haven't been, so I've made up, and hopefully I will be back tomorrow. Y'all put in the chat if y'all want me to talk about a specific country, and I will start back doing that. So y'all take care, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. Take care, YouTube, and take care, Facebook. Later. Bye.